tonight, all right? You embarrass us in front of our guests. This house still has my name on it, Vanessa. God, here we go. Always the same line. Nobody cares about your name, Mom. Just stay out of sight and let the adults handle things. I have lived in this house for 40 years. I am not hiding in a room like a child.
You don't get it, do you? Things are different now. This is our life. You're just a guest in...
A guest. Is that what I am? Finally, you understand.
Come on, Mom, just sign.
My name is what feeds this house. You both seem to forget that.
Mom, please, just sign it. You don't understand how much I need.
How much you need what, Ethan? I'm not signing anything until I know why my son looks like he hasn't slept in a month.
He's fine. Stop deflecting. This is just paperwork, Mom. You transfer the house to us. It avoids taxes. It's what everyone does.
Taxes. Funny. Because last week Ethan asked me for $40,000 and now you both need my house. Tonight, in a hurry.
Fine. You want the truth? Ethan's in debt. Deep. And this house is just sitting here under your name doing nothing.
I'm gonna lose everything, Mom. The business, my house, I need this. You're 70 years old. What do you even need a house this big for?
Just sign it and go live somewhere smaller. You've had your life. It's our turn now.
Sit down. Both of you. And listen carefully because I'm only going to say this once. You think this house was your father's. It wasn't. It was never his. Every dollar Neller in this family came from me.
What, that's not... Dad built
Your
this...
father managed what I earned. I let you both believe otherwise for 20 years. That was my mistake. Not anymore. You think tonight was your idea. It wasn't. I have watched you both circle this house like vultures for 2 years. I saw the missed payments, Ethan, the second mortgage you took out hoping I'd never find out. And you, Vanessa, I heard every word you said about me at Thanksgiving when you thought I'd gone to bed. So 3 weeks ago, I went to see my own lawyer. Not the one you'd pick.
What did you do?
Mine. This morning, I closed every account the two of you have been living off of. The credit lines, the cards in my name, the allowance, all of it. Gone.
You can't do that! My mortgage payment comes out of that account tomorrow!
I know exactly when it comes out, Ethan.
Mom, you're bluffing. You wouldn't do this to your own children.
I just did. Check your phone. Everything's declined. All of it. My card just, oh my God.
No. Mom, please, you have to turn it back on. I have until tomorrow morning. I'll lose the house. I'll lose everything.
Mom, we didn't mean it, okay? We can talk about this.
Here is what happens now. My lawyer comes tomorrow morning at 9. The house goes to one of you. Just one. The other gets nothing. No house, no money, no second chances. And I have already decided which of you spent 20 years actually loving me and which of you only loved my...
They told her to stay in her room so she wouldn't embarrass them in front of guests. Margaret Whitmore was 70 years old, and her 2 children had decided she was furniture. An inconvenient old woman taking up space in a house they had already mentally divided between themselves. That night they pushed a stack of papers across the coffee table and asked her to sign her home away, and they were so certain she would, because for 20 years she had let them believe she was powerless. That was the only thing Margaret had ever gotten wrong. Here is what her children never knew. The house was not their late father's. The money was not their late father's. Every dollar this family had ever spent came from Margaret. A business she built before either of them was born, that she quietly handed her husband the credit for, because that was what wives did in her day. Her children grew up worshipping a father who managed a fortune he never made, and dismissing the mother who made it. She let it go on for 2 decades. She told herself it didn't matter who got the credit, as long as her children were loved. She was wrong about that too, because while they thought she was a doddering old woman, Margaret had been watching. She saw the second mortgage her son Ethan took out in secret, drowning in a failing business and gambling debts he was certain she'd never discover. She heard every word her daughter Vanessa said about her at Thanksgiving. The cruel things said in the kitchen by a woman who assumed the old lady had gone to bed. And she understood, with a clarity that broke her heart, that her children were not coming to her for help. They were coming to pick the bones. So 3 weeks before that night, Margaret went quietly to her own attorney, and she made a plan, not to threaten her children, but to finally see them clearly, and to stop rewarding the ones who had only ever loved her money. When she closed every account their lives ran on, it was not an impulse. It was the end of a decision she had made weeks earlier and carried alone, smiling at their dinner table, knowing what was coming. The lawyer was real. The ultimatum was real. The house would go to one child, and one child would walk away with nothing, and Margaret had already decided which, based on a simple, devastating measure. In 2 years of watching them circle her like vultures, only one of them had ever once asked how she was feeling. Only one had ever called for a reason that wasn't money. That was the whole test. They just never knew they were taking it. She did not do it to be cruel. She did it because the kindest thing she had done, letting them believe she was weak, taking nothing for herself, giving and asking for nothing, had raised 2 people who mistook her silence for permission. Sometimes the most loving thing a person can do is finally refuse to be a doormat, even to their own children. Margaret learned that at 70. She only wished she'd learned it sooner. But here's the part worth sitting with tonight. Margaret spent 20 years giving her children everything and letting someone else take the credit, and it didn't make them grateful. It made them entitled. The love she thought she was showing, they experienced as someone in your life you've been giving and giving to, telling yourself the silence and the sacrifice is love. When what it might actually be teaching them is that you'll never say enough. And what would it take for you to finally say it?
Just stay in your room tonight, all right?